Hey YouTube friends and family, coming back at you with another video today, and I am the Beard Guy, Guns and Gear, and we were out at the range the other day. We shot the 357 and the 22 Wrangler, both Ruger products, single action only, revolvers. So when you go out to the range, there's some care and maintenance to do after. So I gotta say, I'm a lot more familiar cleaning and maintaining semi-automatic firearms, pistols, and whatnot. But the revolver, the simplicity of it, is what appeals, and why it was, kind of one of the first handheld firearms in a repeater style, at least, to appear out there, because of the simplicity of it, the durability of it. Not to say that these won't break down; they'll break down, and that's why we're here today. I'm going to give you a little tips. I'm going to show you how I do it. And I'm going to give you a couple of tricks as well to save some money, which is important. There's a lot of gimmicks out there, and I've got enough experience. I think I can sort through the gimmicks and kind of provide the best product for you. So that's what I'm hoping to do. If you've got some different techniques, maybe you know some tricks that you could pass along, I'd like to get it out there because, like I said, there are ways to save a little bit of money. So first thing you have to do when you're taking care of your firearms is to break them down. And what I mean is basically strip them. Okay, I've already taken care of the 22 Wrangler. As you can see, not a lot of moving parts. For the revolvers, you have like the cylinder, the retention pin, and then basically you have what's left, the body, the frame of the firearm. Okay, so very easy to disassemble. You've got this plunger, basically, or retaining pin for the cylinder. You push that button, you slide it out, okay, and then your revolver. The other one was kind of funny, it rotated out to the left, and I was pretty sure that they typically rotate out to the right. They might be a little bit sticky, depends on how often they get taken apart. There we go, so it rotates out to the right as well. So, because that is what's going to protect this firearm and this firearm, and then we're going to store them until the next time we go out in the range. Alright, so some basic essentials that you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to use a cleaning kit. This is like one of those pistol cleaning kits. I think Allen puts this one out, if I'm correct. I believe it is Allen. Anyway, it's got everything you need for pistols. I kind of put some stuff aside. One thing I like about this one is it swivels on its own. Sometimes, that there'll be solid bars, so you kind of have to leave a space when you screw them together, and they should be something that's not going to burr up or something that's going to destroy the barrel. So these are brass, and brass is softer than steel, so if anything is going to get scratch and ding, it's going to be your brass push rod. Okay, always have a pull through. I've got one put aside for the 357 and the other one for the 22. As well, I like to use a brass or nylon brush. I've got the 22 one and I've got the 357 one. Got some little 1-inch squares for cleaning up, and I have a nylon brush. For you older Canadian Forces military guys, you might recognize these. It may or may not have come back with me at one point. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is, as I said, strip it. Now I'm going to apply some solvent. There's lots of products out there. I just happened to pick this up because it happened to be there. So this is Hops gun cleaner. It's high performance, cleans down to the pores, removes carbon, lead, copper, and it's scent free, which is unfortunate because I actually like the smell of firearms cleaner. Okay, call me weird, call me whatever. I like that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start on the 357. So I'm just going to take my bore brush, and I'll be cleaning the cylinders as well as the barrel with this. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this, I'm going to spray it into the cylinder. I'm not really worried about making a mess. That's part of the process. Got some, shop towels out there. Whatever you do, you want to make sure that it's non-porous, or for the shop towels, you want to make sure it's like lint-free. Okay, other things I'm going to look at where I can see carbon, and you can tell when you look inside of a firearm, you'll notice carbon buildup because it should be shiny, and if it's not shiny, then that means you have some carbon built up. Okay, so I'm just going to give a little spray. I'm going to give a spray inside the cylinder and basically let it run down. When I see it's coming out the other side, I'm going to take my wire brush Okay, and I'm just going to work it back and forth a little bit. Insert crude jokes here. Okay, this is not a lubricant, this is a cleaner, although there are some lubrication properties. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sit. You can let that sit like however long you want. Okay, now I'm going to take this cylinder brush, and your cylinder is obviously bigger than the chamber of the firearm because the entire cartridge fits in the cylinder, whereas it's just the bullet that gets squeezed through the barrel. Okay, the more tighter the squeeze, the more the friction, the better accuracy you have. So I'm just going to work this gun cleaner in here and let it do its thing. At the same time, I'm going to look around, you know, any of the parts that I can notice, you know, where there's a little bit of carbon. I'm just going to agitate it basically, just so I can get that gun cleaner working. You can also notice that this pin here that retains the cylinder in place, you can see that that is a little bit gummed up as well. Okay, so again, I'm just going to kind of agitate it with that nylon brush. Okay, so I check them twice a year, make sure they're still good. You know, depending on the humidity of where you are, you can certainly check them more often. And before I go out hunting or go to the range, I'll take a look at the ones that I'm taking with me, okay? And I'm just giving that plunger, the spring assembly, a decent cleaning. Okay, checking for it. Okay, everything looks good there. Again, I'm going to let that sit. So I always take the 2 shop towels because your hands get a little slimy when you're doing this. All right, wipe off that gun cleaner. Wipe the excess off. I'm going to put the 22 one aside just to let it soak for a little bit longer. And I've got the 357 cylinder, and I can see already that it's, I mean, you know, it's clean. For all intents and purposes, it's clean, but we're not done. We're far from done. Okay, because I could just clean this, take all the carbon off of it, put it back together, and go to the range, and it would shoot. It would shoot for a while. But just like the cylinders of your car, okay, you don't want metal on metal. Applying a thin coat of oil is going to act as like a barrier, so you don't have metal on metal contact. Okay, and that's how you're going to help these firearms last forever. Well, you know, we kind of had a standing joke in our family. You know, my kids have kind of already picked out which ones they're going to have when I'm long gone, and I guess I'll be passing on to them, passing them on to their kids if they decide to have kids. We didn't have, you know, a solvent to apply and then an oil. We just used oil. We used oil for everything. Okay, we even used oil on the wood. But I remember a couple of times, you know, that we're coming back, and you know, one of the first firearms I was issued was the FNC1, and all we had was oil, and you know, the piston rods got filthy if you were firing a lot of rounds through it. We weren't allowed to use oven cleaner, we weren't allowed to use a solvent, whatever. So we used to rub them in the sand, acted like a sandpaper or whatever, to clean the carbon off them. I'm sure that had wear and tear on the firearms. We didn't care. We just wanted to get out of there. We wanted to get the carbon off. So don't do that to your firearms. That's the long short of the story there. But you do want to clean them. I'm going to talk a little bit about different products, okay? So I have CLP, and you guys are probably more than you know, aptly familiar with this stuff. This is an excellent product, okay? Sometimes you get it, it's got Teflon in it. It is going to have a long-lasting lubrication, especially where you have a lot of heat, a lot of energy, and you're shooting a lot of rounds. This I would apply for my semis. Okay, any semi-automatic rifle, pistol that I have, I would probably use CLP. All right, then we have the good old Hops number 9, right? Everybody's had this. I guarantee you every single cleaning kit out there has got this. This is $5 for a small bottle at sale. You can get it at Canadian Tire, you can get it at most hardware stores, you can get it at all the gun stores, okay? Now, and this is the cleaner product that I was using earlier. So I was hunting this fall, and a friend of mine who works at a industrial garage. And I mean, this is a huge garage. He's even got an analysis office in there. So he was reading this, and he's lubricating gun oil. Yeah, cleans, lubricates, protects. And at the same time, he was in his garage, and he picked up a bottle of this product, and I'm sure you can identify it. It's the good old 3-in-1 multi-purpose oil. Lubricates, penetrates, rust, cleans. Okay, so it does the same thing. But is it the same? So he sent a sample, took a sample of both. I don't know if he used hops or just another gun cleaning oil, but he took a sample of both and sent them into the lab. Well, the results came back and they were identical. Absolutely identical. So, this stuff is very inexpensive. If you want to put a good product on your firearm, equal if not better than the Hops number 9 or similar gun cleaning oil, then get yourself a little bottle of this. The container is actually better. It's easier to use. It closes more securely, and I want to say it's about half the price. Okay, this stuff has been around forever and ever and ever. Okay, so the next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to take my pull through, and a lot of people use pull throughs, or they'll actually use name escapes me right now, but basically you put the patch on the end of it, and it pushes it through. Somebody's going to answer in the comments and say, yeah, it's this, you dummy. So I'm going to put some oil on this. All right, and the first place I'm going to go is the cylinder, or sorry, the chamber. Okay, and again, it's not going to be filthy, but as you can see, okay, it's taken some carbon out of there. Okay, that means the gun cleaning stuff has done its job. Now, one thing I will usually do as well, once I get to the second swatch that I'm running through, or the cloth, what I'll usually do is, and I'm just going to put a little bit more on there because it felt a little dry the first time, and I just want to make sure that I'm, at the very least, replacing that solvent with oil. I will reuse the second or third swatch just because there's got oil on it and it's not overly filthy. I'll actually reuse it, and I'll use it to put a light coat of oil on the rest of my firearm. Okay, something else, if you have, some of the cleaning kits come with what they call a mop. And by the way, that thing I was thinking of, it came to me, it's a jag. So a lot of people use the jag instead of a pull through. There's no better one, either one is correct. I guess it's just what you prefer. You don't want too much in the cylinder. If you put too much in the cylinder, then you might have casings that might be a little bit harder to extract, and then end up using that plunger. So you want to protect, but not goop it up. Okay, you can also run that down your chamber. I've already done that. So after that, it's just basically going over the firearm. And I mean, it's really easy on a revolver because everything is metal pretty well, with the exception of the wood handles on this particular model. And even if you get some oil on the wooden handles, as you can see, what it does is just goes right into that grain, and you know, it's going to protect the wood as well, because you don't want the wood to dry out either. So you can see by the sheen on it that I've gone and put a little bit of oil everywhere. Okay, so especially the moving parts, you really want to check those. I check the front of the cylinder where the gears are, basically, that as you rotate through, and if you see anything while you're doing it, okay, like a little tiny piece of lint that came off the mop, or a feather or something like that that came down, go ahead and take care of that and clean it up. If you take your firearm out to the range, you take it out, but you decide not to shoot it for whatever reason, and it's raining, clean it. Okay, maybe you don't have to go inside the chamber, that depends on you, but clean it. If you decide to take your firearms out because somebody comes over to your house and they're curious about it and they want to look at them and feel them and handle, give them a coat of oil afterwards as well, because all of those fingerprints, we have all kinds of stuff on our hands, they are going to promote rust. You kind of have to play around with it a little bit just to get that, especially with greasy hands, it's fun. But just to get that seated in just perfect, there we go, and you'll hear it lock in place. Okay, and once the revolver is back together, I like to do a little test, okay, after assembly. I want to make sure, okay, with the load gate is closed on this particular model. The load gate is closed. I should not be able to rotate the cylinder. The cylinder is in fact locked in place. Okay, if I cock the hammer, the cylinder should rotate. The cylinder does rotate. Okay, I can see down the cylinders. The cylinders are nice and clear. I checked the barrel earlier. The barrel looks great. It's in fantastic shape. If you want to do the half cock, okay, and then you can just hear that beautiful sound of that revolver. All right, so that is basically cleaning a revolver. I'm going to do this one on my own. I've bored you probably enough with this. Okay, so your after product, like I said, this has got a little bit too much oil on it, realistically. But I did that on purpose because I know it's probably not going to be shot for a while. So I like to keep a little oil on it. My firearms are stored in the safe in the basement, and it's a little drier down there. So I like to put a little extra oil on it. If I think there's way too much before I gotta shoot it, I can always wipe some off. But if I don't put any oil, I would hate to go down there. That would give me nightmares. Go down there and find like rust starting to grow on these. So again, my recommendations, twice a year, take a look at your firearms. If you've still got oil showing on it, and it's very easy to tell, you know, just rub your hand down the barrel. If it's dry, it needs a little oil, okay? And just because you oiled the outside doesn't mean that that oil penetrates through the metal and gets on the inside. Do a thorough cleaning. Take all your firearms out, do them twice a year, I would recommend, especially if we live in Canada. The climate changes so significantly. We're in a heated house, sure. But such things as like your hunting firearms, for instance, if you're in an environment where you're coming from the cold, going to the heat, coming to the cold, going to the heat, we know what condensation does, right? Condensation, the change in temperature, rapid changes like that, create condensation, create moisture. You saw how long that took me. 15 minutes. If I wasn't talking, it probably would have taken 10, but I have a difficult time sometimes chewing bubble gum and talking and walking and that kind of thing. So again, I'm the Beard Guy, Guns and Gear. Take care of your gear, and it'll last you and many others their lifetimes. This is going to outlive any one of us that are around today, if it's taken care of. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have some tips and techniques, like I said, please pass along. If you got some money saving advice or techniques that you use, leave those in the comments. Like, subscribe, you're helping me out, and I can put more videos out like this for you guys. Thank you.